What's up? This is Hoops After Dark. No Dre today. So me and Sam will give him a little shit because he gives me shit when I'm not here. So Dre's busy with his kids, so he was unable to join us. But it's Hoops After Dark during the middle of the day
As
because
usual, yeah.
we wanted to get back and talk to you guys. The NBA Finals are officially underway. Game one is in the books, and the Knicks did exactly what Dre said they would do and what every road team wants to do in the finals opener. They walked into San Antonio, took the Spurs' best early punch, survived the Jalen Brunson injury scare, climbed out of a 14-point hole, and closed the game on an 11-0 run and stole home court advantage with a 105-95 win against San Antonio in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of the headline, right? Knicks
Yeah,
105, Spurs 95. Knicks with a 1-0 series lead.
yeah. Knicks take game one away, not at Madison Square Garden in a hostile crowd. They come back in the second half. They end up with a 10-point win, and yeah, I think that's the biggest takeaway. I mean, all of a sudden we have the odds makers had this as a San Antonio series. All of a sudden it's trending towards Knicks or is Knicks. Um, and yeah, game ones can be deceiving in 7-game series, but it certainly opened the public's eyes to the possibility that the Knicks might actually be ready for this series. Before, I mean, even I said I think the Knicks are just a worse version of the OKC Thunder, which they still might end up needing to be because OKC Thunder took the Spurs to 7 games. So I still could be right, but yeah, I think it made the Knicks look way more competitive in this series. Changed what the narrative of the series could be. Neither team shot particularly well. The
No,
Spurs
and
shot worse.
just kind of like we were talking about off camera. It was not a perfect game by the Knicks
No,
whatsoever. It
no.
wasn't a clean performance. Brunson started the game very slow. The Spurs controlled, very long stretches of this game.
Yeah,
When Wemby still finished this game with 26 and 12 with 3 blocks. Spurs had to lead late, but when the game got tight and it turned into a half court pressure test, the
hmm
Knicks were the Knicks had the better closer on the floor,
yeah,
and the Spurs just didn't have enough answers.
yeah.
Jalen Brunson really decided what game one was going to be, and he took it into his own hands.
Absolutely. I mean, just reading the box score, you can tell who had the best game. It was Jalen Brunson. 30 points, 12 of 31 from the field, 2 of 9 from 3, 4 of 4 from free throw. Still, like we talked about, not the perfect game. No one had a perfect game. I think that is interesting in terms of the match of this series, and that did get a little lost. Is the Knicks have a clear closer for their games, which is Jalen Brunson is the number one option. The Spurs, I'm not convinced have a number one option that they go to. It's just everyone. Like Wemby can make clutch shots, Aaron Fox can make clutch shots, Stephon Castle can drive to the basket and make a clutch layup, but like they don't have like there's not a number one, like there's not a 1A guy that they always go to in these situations. And I do wonder if that is something that will affect the Spurs in the long run if they have to find somebody that's able to do that, or if it's going to be Wemby. But how do they get Wemby into a better situation? Because their answer, like their answer in the last minute was Wemby trailing 3. I don't know if that's the number one, offensive possession you absolutely won in that situation. Not the worst offensive possession. Listen, if that 7'7" guy who no one can get to gets a trailing 3 with absolutely no one around him, a clean look, it's not awful, but it's definitely not, exactly what they want.
And we can talk about how the game flow kind of went. The Spurs came out, like the team did not have a week's long of rest.
Yeah.
They had the younger legs. They came out ready to go. At the end of the first quarter, the Spurs led 27-19. New York shot 8 out of 24 from the field in the first quarter. Harper was really the difference maker and spark for the Spurs right off the bat, scoring 10 early points. Well, the Knicks just looked uncomfortable, and Brunson had to go back to the locker room with the knee injury scare. They just came out like they were ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think this. I know it's a 10-point win on the road, so it's very impressive. I don't think this is necessarily a indication that this series is going to be a blowout by the Knicks by any means. The Spurs had moments like you said. They controlled. I believe they controlled like midway through the first quarter, all the way into the fourth quarter. Like they controlled the game and were up. So they obviously have the talent to put these Knicks down. They just didn't in game one, and I don't know if that's a rest factor. I don't know if it's just first game of the finals factor. I don't know exactly what it is. I don't doubt that the Spurs can figure this out and make this a series. I am concerned about if they don't figure it out tonight, it's going to be a little tough heading into Madison Square Garden for 2 games, having lost both at home.
And then yeah, kind of like you just mentioned, they by halftime the Spurs were up by 7. Julian Champagnie had hit 5 threes and had 15 points in that first half. I mean, De'Aaron Fox had a rough scoring night overall, but he still made most of the highlight plays for him in the first half, including a steal from Brunson with a transition layup, a kick out 3 to Champagnie. And at that point, the Spurs looked like they were in a rhythm. They were playing faster and getting contributions beyond just from Wemby, and it started to put New York on their heels. Then, like you kind of said too, by the time the third quarter came, the game completely flipped. The Spurs were up 13, 63-50 with 6:50 to go in the third. And at that moment, it looks like they had the Knicks on the ropes. The building was alive. Wembanyama was involved heavily in getting the crowd going. New York's offense wasn't exactly humming, but then the Knicks answered with a 15-4 run and cut the lead to 71-39 late in that third quarter. And by the end of the third, the game was tied at 76, and the game was flipped on its head.
Yeah. Just a really big rush at the end of that third quarter and into the fourth quarter for the Knicks to get it back into top. Because if that's my thing, if the Spurs could have kept control of that game, but once they ceded control and it was like a 50-50 game, then that's where Brunson, that's where he takes over because, like I said, I don't know if the Spurs have decided who their 1A guy is or if they even have it quite yet. Not to say that Wemby or somebody else on the team can't become that, but like, are they at this stage in their careers that we don't know? So we're going to have to see how they play tonight, see how they respond. That'll be a big tell to what they do. But we also saw in moments that the Spurs can totally control the rhythm and control this game. So if the Spurs are able to do that during the fourth quarter and the third quarter, like if they're able to do that, then they can still take control of the series and even win quickly. They just need to figure out how to do that over 3 quarters of the game or all 4.
I mean, kind of the hit on what you mentioned earlier, like Jalen Brunson, he had 30. But it was not one of those nights where everything was rolling for him from the start. He shot 12 out of 31 from the field. He was 2 out of 9 from 3. Started 1 out of 7 from the field. But he scored 13 points in that fourth quarter, and Brunson closed out the Spurs in the clutch way. Knicks closed the game on an 11-0 run, and it wasn't just like, in my opinion, like watching that game, it wasn't just the way that he was scoring. It was the ways that he was organizing the chaos that was going on throughout their comeback and throughout the fourth quarter, and just the way that he was able to give them a possession by possession answer.
Yeah.
And I just don't think the Spurs had that. And I think that was the difference between the two teams. The Knicks knew that they could put the ball in Jalen Brunson's hands. The Spurs don't know who they're going to go to down the stretch.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on Wemby either.
No.
It's just the way that the Spurs are designed to play team ball through each other and through Wemby. Maybe that's the one piece, and if there is a flaw in Wemby's game, that he just doesn't have yet.
Yeah, he's not Kobe Bryant at the end of the games. Maybe that is it. And maybe he develops that and it's just young in his career. Maybe he just didn't have it one night. We'll have to see. My other thing I kind of give another reason why the Spurs can still totally be in the series. So I'm looking at the team stats. New York shot 41% from the field. Spurs shot 36%. New York 31% from 3-point, 26% for the Spurs from 3-point. And the Spurs missed 5 free throws. Everything else in this game, every other amount of everything else, like the rebounds are close, the assists are close, steals. The Knicks had 4 more steals, 8-4. And they had 4 less turnovers, obviously. Makes sense. Here's the thing, if the Spurs cut down their turnovers by like 1 or 2 and they make 30% of their threes, will they win that game? Like the Spurs had a off night too. So an off night and you lose by 10 and you easily could have made 2 or 3 more free throws and knocked in 2 or more threes. Like they were both these teams were totally in this game. It just ended up with the Knicks getting a little momentum at the end. So I think despite game 1 being a 10-point game on the road, the series and like it's actually more indicative of how close these teams actually are. And that's how it was for OKC and the Spurs as well. That series was very close, and I think that's kind of how this is trending too. Is the Spurs can be that guy. I am a little surprised that the Spurs defense was not better, more debilitating to Jalen Brunson. Now he still had to shoot a lot, and it wasn't like a perfect night for him. They made him work for it, but he still got 30. I'm a little surprised that Wemby on the back end, and then Castle and Dylan Harper didn't limit him more. That's another thing we're going to see as this series develops. Was that just a rest thing, or the Spurs going to be able to limit him more? Because I think that's the key for them is they need to control the game, and then once it gets in the fourth quarter into the dog days, then you need to get your defense humming on Brunson. I think that's how they win the series.
I think that's the difference, right? Like you talked about the fourth quarter. I mean, Brunson's going to get the headline as he should, but New York doesn't win this game without the rest of his supporting cast doing the dirty work, the grimy work throughout the whole game. I mean, Towns didn't do much in the fourth quarter. He had 18 and 10 through 3 quarters. He finished with 18 and 12, but it pulled Wemby away from the basket. He was creating driving lanes for Jalen Brunson. He battled Wemby enough to keep it from being a one-sided dominant matchup like we kind of talked about. Josh Hart only had 3 points, but he had 15 rebounds and 6 assists and 4 steals. And that's just, in my opinion, a ridiculous non-scoring impact for an NBA Finals game. Like, Hart was everywhere. He gave New York possessions. He disrupted, absence. He rebounded very well. OG Anunoby as well. He had 17, including 8 points in the fourth quarter, during one stretch where he kind of just took over. And he hit that big 3 late in the fourth to give him, kind of control. And then kind of like we were talking about before we hopped on, like Landry Shamet off the bench, gave him 13.
Real impact, yeah.
And he was a real impact. And the Knicks got enough pieces that they were able to win despite Brunson taking 30 shots to get 31 points.
Yeah. And go ahead.
No, you're good.
It's funny to look at this box score and realize that only 3 players had a good shooting night. OG had a good shooting night. Landry Shamet had a good shooting night, and Julian Champagnie had a good shooting night. Everybody else was kind of poor in the field. Also, like, if people, we haven't said anything like this, but if anyone is out there that like talks anything about how Victor Wembanyama didn't produce in this game, 38 minutes, 26 points, 6 of 21 from the floor, not great. But listen, like we just talked about, no one was shooting great from the floor. 2 of 9 from 3, 12 of 13 from free throw, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks. He did have 6 turnovers. But like, if that's
hold on, just to touch on like your point on Wembanyama. Wembanyama produced, but the Knicks didn't let him dominate in ways that he dominated in rhythm against OKC.
Yeah,
and I think that Mitchell Robinson kind of bothered him a little bit. The Knicks did well matching physicality with size, so they didn't stop him, but because nobody really stops Wembanyama. But they made the night for him inefficient enough that San Antonio needed to go elsewhere to get offense, and they just didn't get that.
No.
I think, and like you kind of mentioned, Stephon Castle was great with 17, 8, and 3. Harper had 16 on 6 of 10 shooting with 8 rebounds. Champagnie added 16 and 10 with 5 threes. But the problem is the veterans for the Spurs, like De'Aaron Fox, their shot creation didn't really hold up when the game got tight. No. And I know you're going to go deeper into the box score, but like, the thing that's not talked about enough is De'Aaron Fox had a game 1 to forget. He did 3 for 13 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3, 7 points, 5 assists with 1 turnover. and that's not enough.
5 personal fouls, most fouls in the game.
Yep, that's not enough for the Spurs if they're going to get past this Knicks team. They need
No.
De'Aaron Fox to step up in game 2.
Oh boy, we're doing the ESPN. This guy needs to step up. But it's true. It's true.
It's a reality. They can't have him. If he has 15 points and he shoots 5 out of 11 from the field, that's a better contribution than he gave him. That's probably the difference in the game.
Yeah.
And they need De'Aaron Fox to be better. It's pretty simple. Wemby can put up numbers. Harper can put in a punch. Castle's going to put up a punch. Champagnie can hit shots, but Fox has to give him more than 7 points. If he doesn't, the series is going to become more difficult for the Spurs.
Yeah. And just as a team, they need to shoot better than 26% from 3. Any NBA team in the modern era is going to have a rough game if they shoot 26% from 3. So I think the stats indicate some problems, but also indicate that the game was a lot closer. And I don't think this series is going to be a blowout. I'm very intrigued to see the game 2 adjustments and how that goes. Because if the Spurs can take control for an entire night and really look good tonight, then I think we're in for a really interesting 2 games in Madison Square Garden.
I think so too. And like you were touching on with the box score, it's like the numbers back the eye test. New York shot 41%, Spurs shot 36%. Both teams made 11 3-pointers, but the Knicks did it on 36 attempts. Spurs needed 43 attempts to get there.
Yeah.
The Knicks won the battle for points in the paint, less turnovers, more assists, more steals. The Spurs won the rebounding battle. So, but the biggest thing that I saw was for the way that the Spurs play, New York won the paint battle. And with Wemby's presence down there, the Knicks were not afraid to go into the paint and score and go at Wembanyama.
Yeah.
And that was kind of what we talked about and you and Dre hit on in our last episode. It's teams are scared to go to Wembanyama. Teams are scared to drive at Wembanyama.
And New York didn't.
New York was not. They went right at Wembanyama, whether it was with Towns or Brunson or OG did it as well. Josh Hart doesn't score, but you get the point that I'm making. Like they weren't afraid. They weren't afraid. They found ways to get it done in the paint. And I think that's going to be a tell, like you said, if the Spurs can respond and make this a split going to New York, is the story going to be that New York won the paint battle but lost the game? Or is it going to be a 2-0 New York lead with New York still dominating like they did inside the paint and not being scared of Wemby? Because they're playing a different style than OKC did. OKC shot a lot of threes, mid-ranges, stayed away from Wemby. Mm-hmm. They're going right at Wemby, and they're not afraid to go right at Wemby.
And Mitchell Robinson and Cat, although Hartenstein's a pretty big fella, they have a lot more size, and they're more willing to go at him than Chet was. And I think that could be a big difference, too, is like their size is allowing them to go at Wemby in ways that Chet was too small to do and frankly too scared to do, and they're not scared of it, and they're big enough to do it. And they're more skilled than a Hartenstein, I think, at least.
Oh, I think so too. And I think that as much flack as we kind of gave a Mitchell Robinson, that's kind of more if the Thunder were gonna make a move and it's not a big move like a Giannis, they need somebody who plays like a Mitchell Robinson, an off the bench role that's not afraid to get down and dirty, physical, maybe a little bit more athletic than a Hartenstein, but a different style of player, right?
Yeah.
Like, and maybe that's the matchup problem that's interesting too. And one note that's interesting about this series and what the Knicks have done, they're just the third team ever to win 12 straight playoff games of one playoff run, joining the Spurs and the 2015 Warriors. The 99 Spurs.
That's impressive. I did not know that.
So they're in very elite company when it comes to the way that they're playing. And you kind of mentioned it that they're in the last episode that offensively efficient, or the offense efficiency wise, they're playing at a historic rate, better than the 73-9 Warriors. And it shows with the games that they won. And really, they only lost the game on a buzzer beater.
Yeah, and but you know what, the Spurs did limit that offense. They did make that offense worse. Now the Spurs just have to control the game a little bit more. because the Spurs did slow down their offensive efficiency significantly from what they had been experiencing versus Philadelphia, versus the Hawks, and versus Cleveland. So clearly, the Spurs have given them something that is harder. They just happen to win game one. So,
And I think going into game 2, like one of the bigger questions is going to be, does Wembanyama play big on both sides of the ball? You know, it seemed like kind of like we were talking about in game 1, he drifted too much out to the 3-point line. He settled too often for poor shot selection. He didn't push the Knicks to and punish them near the rim, and I don't think you can have that happen again.
no.
And I mean, in my opinion, that doesn't mean he should stop shooting threes completely, because that's part of his game. But it also is, and that part of his game makes him impossible to guard. But he needs to get, I think, more physical inside the paint. Try to get Cat and Robinson in foul trouble like he did in the OKC series. And he needs to put more pressure on the rim and in more possessions, to the point where the Knicks are forced to double him.
Yeah.
And can double him, that's going to create a lot of different options for De'Aaron Fox, for Champagnie, for Stephon Castle. It's going to create a lot of different, things that they may have not gotten in game 1 when he just wanted to settle and be a trailer and shoot a 35-foot corner.
Yeah. No, I agree. Speaking of, obviously we've been talking about the home the whole time, but your every game Wemby, oh my God, how the hell did he do that play of the game? The tip to himself, then throw off the backboard for a layup over a guy that was 6'10". That was crazy.
That was probably one of the best plays I've seen in a long time.
He does that a lot. Like he'll go for rebounds, or he'll miss like a layup, and he like the layup miss or the rebound, like he'll tip into the air. It becomes an alley oop that only he can touch, even over NBA centers, which is crazy to watch. Like he'll actually miss a layup and he'll clank off and he'll just recatch it and dunk it. It's so funny.
It's insane, some of the stuff he does. It kind of looks like sometimes of like the stuff that what do you call it, that Kobe used to do, when Kobe would just randomly pivot, throw it off the backboard, and then catch it and go dunk it or finish.
If Kobe was a way less coordinated, but also 7'8".
Right, but I'm just saying.
It's
just like, or like, because Jordan used to do that, Kobe used to do it. You didn't really see LeBron do it much. I think you saw smaller guards that like Dwayne Wade, stuff like that, them try to do those kind of things. But you're seeing that from a 7'6" guy, 7'7",
where he knows that he's tipping up the ball to fight for a rebound in the air. He knows he's the only one able to get it, and then he'll just dunk it back. It's crazy to watch. I don't have too many more thoughts on this game in particular. I think we kind of hashed out everything that I thought about the game. But yeah, if the Knicks are able to dominate fourth quarters, I think series is going to go their way. And like if Jalen Brown can't be limited anymore, even though he was, like we've talked about, limited, like he had to take a lot of shots to get his.
So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Here's my question for you. Yeah. If you're Mitch Johnson, is the Spurs adjustment going more to Dylan Harper and less of De'Aaron Fox, and giving Dylan Harper more minutes off the bench with the way that he's been playing, especially at the end of the Western Conference Finals and in how he played in game 1?
I think that is the solution in game 3 if it on the road, to switch things up if you lose tonight. I think tonight you say, like in practice yesterday and then today, you're like, De'Aaron, we need more from you. We need you to like really go at Brunson, make him defend, work on like 2-man game with Wemby, and like really attack the paint, and like really take this game into your hands, because we know you can. And then if it still doesn't work out, then I think that's your first wrinkle you start the game with on the road at Madison Square Garden, is you start Dylan Harper and make that adjustment there. But I don't think you do it right after game 1, because you run the risk of like losing De'Aaron Fox, which I'm not accusing him of being this type of player, but like anytime you bench a guy, like you run the risk of possibly losing part of his interest or hurting his confidence.
Well, I mean, do you play? So if you're not going to necessarily say bench De'Aaron Fox,
you play a hell of a lot of Yeah,
Obviously,
until
do you play a lot more small ball around Wemby? Do you go with a lineup that's a De'Aaron Fox, Castle, Harper?
you could do that, or you could just play him a lot more in general. Like you could just swap him out for De'Aaron Fox significantly more, and still start De'Aaron Fox. But yeah, he definitely needs to play more if he's playing like this.
Do we want to do the 82-0 challenge?
I would love to do the 82-0 challenge. I'd
All right,
love to.
let's
No
pull this up.
stats.
Let's pull up before we hop off and give our predictions for game 2. We're gonna do with the hot trend of what everybody is doing right now and the 82-0 challenge. So for those who don't know, the 82-0 challenge, they give you historic eras and teams. Basically, you get a random roulette of a team in an era, and every player that played in that era, and you have to build the perfect roster, the perfect starting five to go 82-0.
Let's do it, baby.
So, for example, here's our round 1. We are gonna spin and see who we get. Clippers 70s.
Let's. I would. So listen, I feel like there's a couple answers here. You could take McAdoo. You could take Adrian Dantley.
McAdoo. Oh yeah, there is stuff here.
You could take them, or you re-roll one of the two.
Do we go era or do we go team?
I don't love the 70s for any teams outside of like getting Dr. J or Boston. So I'd prefer re-roll era and see if we can get into like a Chris Paul or 2000s. All right, so let's see. Do we have Chris?
Oh,
even worse.
That's even worse. Chris Kaman.
Oh, ew.
Corey Maggette.
Ooh.
Do we go Andre Miller for point guard?
Or we can burn both of our rerolls because the 2000s is great for so many teams.
All right, we're gonna burn it. We're gonna burn both of them in our first 2 spins. Let's see how this goes.
Oh Denver. God. We can Carmelo.
Where is it? Oh, there he is right here. Going Carmelo at the 3 or the 4?
3. We can always switch position depending on what we roll. Good start.
All right, we got no mulligans left. Brooklyn Nets at the
Kevin Durant.
We go Kevin Durant here.
Yeah, I think so. I think you go Kevin Durant here.
You don't want Dorian Finney-Smith?
No, I don't. You don't want Drew Timme?
Joe Harris? Do we want Kyrie? Do we want Kyrie or do we want KD?
Okay, are they going off of? Here's the thing. My question is: it like the 2020 stats of Kyrie? Because then we want the 2020 stats of KD for sure. Plus, he plays three.
It's the 2020 stats of KD, so we want to put him at the 2.
Yeah, put him at the 2. We can always move him around. All right, come on.
Boston at the 70s.
Okay, so like Havlicek. This is where we go Havlicek. And what positions does he all play?
2, 3.
So move Carmelo to the 4. Just for my own enjoyment, move Carmelo to the 4.
Oh, I can't move. Oh, yeah, I can.
And then put Havlicek there. Yeah, I love it. So now we're looking for a point guard and a center.
OKC 70. So this would be the Sonics, right?
Sonics. See what centers they have. So you have you could pick Dennis Johnson. That's possible.
Centers, who their options? I don't know any of these guys. That's the problem.
Jack Sigma isn't the worst center ever, but let's go to the guards. I have a sneaking suspicion that Dennis Johnson is going to be the only one we can really pick.
Yeah, let's just go with DJ.
DJ, all right. Come on, 60s Warriors or 2000s.
Oh, we got the 2020 Nets. Old Blake Griffin.
Oh God,
this is horrible.
Go to centers. Just go to centers and let's see what we have. All right. LaMarcus Aldridge, Uncle Jeff Green. We could just shout out Uncle Jeff. Claxton.
Do we go Claxton?
Who else is on here?
Should we just go James Johnson just to punch somebody in the face?
Okay, who? Okay, time out. If James Johnson is on this team, who's he punching in the face first, Carmelo or KD?
Probably Carmelo.
I don't know. Pick somebody for the culture. Either Uncle Jeff or James Johnson.
We going Jeff Green, or do we want to go Aldridge?
We could go Aldridge too. Or if we're gonna go Aldridge and we're actually trying to like get a pretty good thing here, we could go with either Blake Griffin or we could go with Andre Drummond, and like it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. But I don't really mind any of them. They're all probably gonna end us up at the same place.
54 and 28.
Playoff team. Listen. This is my problem with this. Okay, listen.
7 points, 9 rebounds a game for Andre Drummond.
And listen, this is my problem with this game. I love this game. It's very fun. It's addicting. I played like 6 hours of it yesterday. A team that has 2020's Kevin Durant, 70s Havlicek, and 2000s Carmelo is not 54 and 20. It's a really good record, but like to act like it's a C of a team.
It says 95 points a game.
That's from your starters. Like they're like 95 points a game, not quite enough. I'm like, what? There are 3 MVP. Well, did Carmelo win an MVP? No, he never did.
Not in Denver, I don't think.
No, and like Dennis Johnson. I don't know. We can play again. I'd love to play one more time.
Do one more time before
one more.
Let's see if we can beat 54 and 28. Knicks of the 20s. So we go Brunson here.
I think you go Brunson here. Yeah.
I think we have to go Brunson here.
Yeah. He has great stats, and this entire thing is just building. It is just building up stats. Brunson has good stats.
Atlanta, the 70s.
Is this enough to get Bob Pettit?
Is he a center?
Or power forward?
No, he's not here.
He's not here. What do we got?
Should we switch teams or eras? I think we should do the era.
Let's do the era.
Because if all fails, we can get 2010s. We can get Trae Young, or we can get Joe Johnson.
Yeah.
Do we want Jamal Crawford?
Oh God, a backcourt of Brunson and Jamal Crawford. So funny.
Joe Johnson,
or is there anyone else? What are Horford's numbers?
Do you want a Josh Smith?
We could do Josh Smith. What is Horford's numbers like? Like they're not bad, right?
No, he had good numbers, I thought.
Okay. I mean, I just don't like. This is kind of
it was good enough to get them to the playoffs consistently than him to get a bag from Boston.
Sure. I mean, we could go Horford too.
We'll go Horford at center for the Colts.
You know what's happening now. LA Lakers 2000s.
We got Carmelo again.
We did get Carmelo again. It's fine.
Carmelo again, or do you want a backcourt of Allen Iverson? Is AI in here?
2010's AI doesn't have the stats. So let's go Carmelo. Carmelo was lighting it up in the 2010s. Melo, Jalen Brunson, Al Horford, and Carmelo Anthony.
Indiana 70s.
Listen, Alex English, Adrian Dantley, one of those two. They're pretty similar, I feel like. Or we can. But I don't really like rolling like anything else for the 70s. You like Dantley more?
Do we want to go English?
It doesn't matter. They're very interchangeable to me. Pick your favorite.
Just go with Dantley.
Perfect.
Dantley was a good player. He was a high-level scorer. Portland in the 90s.
Reroll team. For the love of God, please.
Milwaukee.
God damn it. Don't we have Ray Allen here?
Yeah, we need to go Ray Allen here.
I don't think he has the best stats of the decade, but like I don't think it's bad.
54-28 again. But they list us as a contender this time.
Okay, listen. Jesus Christ, is there a ball to go around in this team? Holy, they'll have to play with 2.
15 and 8. So to answer your question, 15 and 8 from Horford.
That's
16 a game from Ray Allen.
Yeah. So how I've seen the online discourse is like you have to basically either get like Wilt or you have to like stack like LeBron, Melo, Steph. And like they have to play it again.
Chris Webber.
You could do that, or you can reroll team and hope to get LeBron or any Laker or any Boston Celtics player.
Pelicans.
Oh, Chris Paul. Welcome to the team, CP. We have our guard.
70s.
Oh, wait. Is he in here? It is. No. Is Oscar in here?
Oh, I think so. Yep.
Oh,
we can't. We
fuck.
can't. We're fucked.
Fuck. All right, re-roll arrow. Re-roll. Come
Guess
on.
I'm good. 90s again.
Chris Webber.
Yeah, we got to go Chris Webber.
Oh, God. Bastards. God. Oscar Robertson is also huge. No, this game. Ooh. You can go Alonzo or you can go with.
I think we have to go Alonzo unless
What?
we're going to go Mitch Richmond.
No. There's Hardaway.
Rice, too.
Hardaway.
Or that's what I meant. Hardaway. Sorry.
Oh, he's a point guard. Okay.
He's a point guard.
Alonzo, play center.
We got Alonzo Mourning next to Chris Webber with CP3.
A nasty 90s lineup.
Philly of the 70s.
All right.
Dr.
J, baby. There you are. Julius Irving.
2 or the 3?
Small forward. Come on, Michael. Oof.
Oof.
Come on. So we can either pick a small forward or a shooting guard.
We don't get. What does Paolo play in this?
Power forward.
So we can't get Paolo. Do we go Wagner?
What does Wagner play? Shooting guard?
We go Bull.
Have you seen the people that try to do the worst one?
Do we go Desmond Bane?
Ooh, I think Desmond Bane's not bad. Let's go a little Desmond Bane in here.
67 and 15.
Yeah, because you get the benefit. Like, oh my God. Yeah, I mean this is not a bad team, to be fair. Yeah, because Desmond Bane has had a good decade. Chris Paul was one of the best point guards in the NBA, and then you have 70s Irving, Julius Webber, Chris Webber, and
Alonzo. Look at our bigs though, 20 and 13,
20 and 10. We're averaging 7 blocks a game. Holy shit. God, what a game. We might have to do this every single time we do this podcast.
Oh, 100%.
It's so fun.
Thank you guys for tuning in. And like Dre, who's not here, always says, like, subscribe, reshare, and make sure we post it on our socials. Who do you guys think will win game 2? Do the Spurs bounce back? Put your predictions in the comments.
What's yours?
I think the Spurs win tonight. I think they bounce back and they make the series 1-1. I think if it goes back to New York 2-0, they're in big trouble.
I completely agree. All right.
Thank you guys for tuning in. And this was Hoops After Dark.
After dark.
During the day.
During the day.